Hey guys, morning. So we get outside now and he runs right to the spot he should be going. This is kind of what's going to happen with you getting set in. Snow's already gone this morning for most of it. All that came down over that storm, you can see a pretty good amount. It all melted yesterday. Now we've got sunshine again. The wind's starting to dissipate. I notice up here that there's a wind pattern that comes up over that hill. You got Rancho Cucamonga and all that on the other side. It's on the bottom of the grade there. That's a wind tunnel, the 60. It's where you're all familiar with Santa Ana winds. It goes through there real heavy. And that wind pattern tends to go up and over this bowl that I was talking about, that strip of hills, this whole hill range that I look at as a lip of a bowl that when a storm comes through, it comes through on that other side because Mexico's out that way. We are looking, right now we would be looking south, pretty much. So, all right, little boy, I figured I just wouldn't give you any more looks at him doing his thing, doing dookie. That's got to get old. This whole thing is getting old, I'm sure. Waking up with Loki is probably getting old other than watching him grow. He's got growing pains. He's got a lot of pain, and I'm trying to figure it out. He's going so fast. And I've got to go in with another dog next week, go to the vet. I think I'm going to take him just for the hell of it. I don't like going to a vet at his age because it's where sick dogs are at. And right now I'm hearing there's all kinds of Parvo running around everywhere. There's really a bad bout of it. I've learned a lot about Parvo this season because of Tina, and not that we've been experiencing it, but she's really consciously aware of it. So there's a real bad strain going on. It's kind of like the flu. You never notice they give you a flu shot, and they change that strain, and they try to get the best one if they can, and they hope that that's going to be the one that defeats the flu or the heavy outbreak of it for that year. And a lot of times they'll give that inoculation, and it really won't be the one that it'll be another strain that hits. So Parvo is like that. The public really doesn't understand that basically these are strains that are mutating. And it's still Parvo, but then in some years it's more vicious than others, and that's what's happening this year. I think with all this rain that we've got, it's bringing out the little critters. I noticed with Giardia as an example. Giardia is something that we deal with a lot, and it's not people, the public, the general public, has a concept that Giardia is because you have a unclean facility, or it's a dirty place, that kind of thing. You can keep as clean as you want to. Giardia is in the water, it's in the dirt, it's everywhere, and it bubbles up when this rain and your fluctuations in weather patterns hit. And it's just, it is what it is. We kind of experience it twice a year. You just got to stay on top of it, and it just takes its course and goes. Giardia is really bad for the very young puppies because they lose fluid, and that's the thing. Same thing with Parvo. It's a digestive, in a stomach type of a thing that basically attacks that area of the dog's processes as far as their digestive. And with Parvo, they lose a lot of fluid. They're losing it because they can't keep anything down. They're puking, and then they have a stool that basically turns to water as well. And it's water and bloody, and it has a definite smell to it. You can always, when you've been through the experience of Parvo, and I have, and that's why we're talking about it right now, when it first came out back in the 80s and Parvo first hit, we didn't know what it was. We had no clue. And I was working down at that facility in Oakland, and we had litters of puppies. I had a litter of Rotties, and then I think we had a litter of Shepherds, and it hit our kennel, and you're talking, 5, 6, 8, 11 puppies, whatever. I don't remember the count. It was way so many years ago. But in a nutshell, when it hit, we didn't know what it was. Loki. Nope. Good boy. Good. There you go. Good. So he knows the word no now. I had to cuff him yesterday. He was getting a little bit too rough with me. And we had that little conversation. I right away built him up on the other side of it with a lot of positive, and making him understand the balance between no and good dog. And he did real good with it. He's really good. I'd go over that a little bit more, but talking about aversives and everything with this politically correct crap that we've got going on with all the people that don't believe in correcting a dog, it gets kind of tough. Reality, if you keep the rules, you're matter of fact, done and over with, and you have an objective, and you've got some forethought and not emotional where you're losing your temper and you're getting emotional with the animal, and you just, matter of fact, done and over with, and you have some, again, forethought, some thought into what you're doing. There's no problem with it. You want to get done and over with it. You want to establish a lesson. With a young dog, he's got to understand there's consequences in the world. And so it's just the way it is. I'm not one of those trainers that sit there and try to avoid development of my animal, and this is something that is, as far as I'm concerned, is a big, especially when you got a working dog that can, with an imbalance in relationship, can be a problem. And that's why they spin out. They spin out because of this whole aspect of teaching people that only using food and only using positive is what you want to do. And I don't remember being raised that way when I was a child, and I turned out pretty good. So it's good boy, good. That's my boy, good. There you go. Good boy. And believe me, 99% of his life is all positive. But there are times, you little shit. Nope. Loki, no. Good, good. Notice my voice change, okay? A nice stern voice change. And keeping in mind that I did this yesterday, so I'll reaffirm this and reaffirm with social pressure, with attitude, that no means no, okay? And I'll keep the rules. The biggest thing with any type of work that you're doing is consistency. As long as you are consistent with your rules and your boundaries and you're fair, there's no problem with it, okay? Don't be the type of person that doesn't believe in this and then you be wishy-washy and that kind of thing. Set firm rules. Set very good guidelines that the dog can understand. And he will learn, he will grow. He's not a stupid animal. Okay, and then do as much positive as you can. Do all the food, the toys. I mean, I build this dog. Good boy, good. There you go. Good boy, good. Now, you saw that. I gave a la correction with a voice tone that was very distinct. And then right away, and I've been working on this. These are ant hills. I want to keep him as note out of those ants. I don't want him to have to learn the hard way. He's going to learn the hard way probably anyway. I mean, again, there's a good example of consequences in life. How long do you think it'd take a dog to go over to that ant pile and stick his nose in there and get nailed by a few ants that he didn't learn to stay the hell away from an ant pile? So one of the ways I always tell my customers too is when you're dealing in life, you go over there with a porcupine. How long does it take for a dog to figure out not to fuck with a porcupine? It doesn't take very long at all. Okay, so as long as you're very distinct and very exact with your rules, okay, be very it's a word I'm looking for when I'm waking up here this morning. Very consistent is the main thing, and don't be abusive. Just be done and over with, matter of fact, and then be fair, okay? And then teach him how to win. So in other words, you saw me right there. I gave a la and he reacted to that right away. My voice tone went to the one of praise. Good boy, good, good. Setting up these markers is not just setting up the markers with what you're doing and learning how to do marker training through Leoberg, okay? It's a matter of how you treat this dog and being consistent with your behavior with him. And that's really what turns out a good dog, to be honest with you. It's all in how you treat the animal, what you expose him to. So a lot of environmental, a lot of the things that I do, but my behavior is very consistent. I've been doing this since I was 12, so my behavior in dealing with him is very consistent. I'm not wishy-washy with my rules. I don't have one time you're allowed on the bed and then one time you're not. There's definite rules. Actually, my rules you're allowed on the bed when I ask you up or tell you can come up. And when I say off, off is off. I have a distinct command for get off the bed. Okay, or even get at the end of the bed. I used to have two distinct commands that I would use. I can't do it as much anymore. I'm with Tina, so she doesn't like dogs on her beds. But in a general sense, I would say get the end of the bed, the dog would know that one. And I would say get off the bed, and the dog would know that one. So, all right, I'll cut this short. We're getting a little long-winded as usual. Mark Ferrasci with Protect Dog Training, and Loki waking up day after Memorial Day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.